I'm Jackie Woodruff, and this is my presentation on the effects of Stoicism on children's emotional development and families. So, my topic selection was based upon the themes of community and Stoicism found within the stimulus packet. Community is identified in the sources The Long Walk to Freedom by Nelson Mandela, as he credits his survival through prison to the inmate support systems which they create for each other, as well in Migrant Mother, which depicts a bond of family in times of difficulty. Stoicism, which is the endurance of hardship without the display of feelings, is identified in their own words, as it evaluates the ability of the Haitian population to recover from natural disaster, maintaining focus on reparations, leaving little room for emotional recovery. It is also found in the Meditations of the Emperor, as the author encourages the readers to keep a Stoic mindset. I decided to focus my research on the connections of Stoicism in family communities. In the realm of parenting, parents aspire to raise their kids to be strong, independent adults. Many parents prioritize academics and cognitive development, forgetting the importance of emotional intelligence. It entails personal control and understanding of emotions, as well as recognizing the feelings of others. This makes its way into everyday life, playing a key role into the formation of social connections, managing stress, and communication. With this holding such high importance, it is often ignored in young children, which was when it matters most. An academic study conducted by Daniel McNeil and Jana Simon, researchers with PhDs in psychology, cite that emotional development begins at just 15 months, with the first 5 years being the most crucial, as this continues past age 10. In relation to Stoicism, the trait is often considered a main indication of an individual's resilience. The problem is that emotions are perceived as a sign of weakness. Therefore, people are reluctant to express them. The trait is commonly displayed in parents, as many feel in their role as caretaker that they must show that they are strong and capable of handling challenges to take care of their family. This parenting method also includes the encouragement of positive expressions compared to those that are more complicated, such as depression, anxiety, or frustration. But because it is believed Stoicism signifies strength, it is both practiced and encouraged in many families. But this causes the question to arise, how is a parent's display and teaching of Stoicism within families an ineffective method of raising a child to be emotionally competent? Parents commonly use the method of Stoicism with the intentions of raising emotionally strong children, encouraging kids to approach their problems logically. However, this leaves little room for emotional reactions. This will be done through language such as saying, forget about it and move on, or it's not a big deal, as well as telling a child to handle their emotions privately. Children can take this harshly and feel as if their emotions have been minimized. This can lead children to either act out for attention or isolate themselves. A research study done by Scott Mirabal, a professor with expertise in children's psychological development, proves this. He found when children feel their emotions are dismissed, they are more likely to increase the intensity of their emotions and have increased feelings of anger. This stunts the child's ability to properly regulate their own emotions and likely leads to eyelashes. On the other hand, it can also lead to isolation, as this heightened emotional reaction can cause increased feelings of depression. The encouragement of Stoicism may lead children to feel as if they cannot communicate their feelings at all, especially negative ones, as kids are taught to only display the more positive emotions to the public. This is a significant factor to mental health problems, both of these possible effects leading to the development of children into emotionally immature adults. Harmful effects of Stoicism can also be caused by parents' avoidance of letting their children see them struggle in times of grief. A study done by Sophia Haverkos, a professor of psychiatry, found a strong correlation between discussion of emotions within families and a child's own emotional competence. Children of parents who avoided publicly grieving or communicating their emotions were far more likely to have emotional dysregularities. While the display of Stoicism may seem like the ideal trait to raise children to be emotionally competent, it is actually proven to be counterproductive. So, what is an effective way to counter this? It is important to recognize that emotions do not signify weakness, especially as young children are developing emotional understanding. My proposed solution to achieve this goal of raising children to be emotionally competent adults is the strategy of emotional coaching. This entails the teaching of children the causes of the emotions they experience, as well as strategies for handling them. Parents should encourage the child to express their emotions outwardly in order to teach kids how to communicate their feelings. Erica Lueckenheimer, a researcher with expertise in psychology, held a study which concluded a strong positive correlation between the communication of emotions within families and a child's ability to regulate their emotions. Teaching emotions is key to healthy emotional development in young children. This solution would include the reinforcement of family as a child support system. As expressed by Nelson Mandela in The Long Walk to Freedom, support systems grow mental strength. He states, for together our determination was reinforced. We supported each other and gained strength from each other. The study done by Habermas holds a strong agreement with Lueckenheimer's as it cites that children raised with this parenting method experience improved socialization skills and behavior, as well as the ability to regulate their own emotions. When children are taught strategies for how to respond to emotional stress, it will be easier for them to manage their emotions independently. Parents' communication of their emotions with their children also encourages their own children to communicate their bonds and therefore form stronger emotional bonds. While emotion coaching does inform kids how to communicate their emotions, it does have some limitations to its benefits. Genetics have been shown to take on a large role in children's emotional behavior. It can be the cause for mood disorders or mental health problems, as 40% of adolescents are predisposed to depression. In parenting, these imbalances are much more difficult to address and need a more specific approach dependent on each child's case. It would be good in these situations for parents to seek outside help, such as a therapist, which can give professional advice, and parents should pay close attention to their child's specific triggers and help them prepare responses. The encouragement of Stoicism can also take place not only from families but also from society, specifically towards boys. Outside people such as friends, coaches, or other adults can have influence on children's emotional development. Boys are most often encouraged to appear strong, as it is how society depicts men in media and interactions. This outside media never depicts men as being emotionally vulnerable, but instead depicts emotions such as anger. This will influence young boys growing up to minimize emotions they view weak and more likely to express feelings of anger. In this case, parents should emphasize to their children that the expression of emotions does not signify weakness, but instead maturity. Male influences in the family should teach their son to be emotionally vulnerable by being vulnerable themselves, and that ideals depicted by society are not accurate to real life. To conclude, Stoicism within family units stunts young children's emotional growth through suppression of emotions. Parents should encourage their children to not only express positivity, but also to communicate their more complicated ones. Teaching children emotional communication in responses is necessary to proper emotional maturity. And here's my slide.
All right. Jackie, what evidence did you gather that you didn't include, and why did you choose not to include it?
I found a lot of evidence which linked that in families that are more impoverished, children were more likely to have behavioral irregularities and problems. However, I decided not to include this in my presentation, as it didn't have as strong as a link as other information I found, such as the information comparing it to boys who face stronger challenges.
And what are the implications of your findings to your community?
Within our community, there's a lot of families, and the findings of proving that emotional coaching encourages children's proper emotional development would be useful to many parents and families.
All right. Thank you.